If you've ever wanted to get a really cool crackle finish on a piece of furniture, maybe even over bare wood, I can show you how. I even make my own, so it's really cheap. That's coming right up.
Knock, knock. Who's there? ToolGirl.
Well, today's the day I thought I'd have a little fun experimenting with finishes. So this is basically a thing I built a long time ago, and it's completely unfinished, and I want a crackle kind of shabby chic effect, but there are two different ways to get it. Normally, when you use a crackle medium, they're kind of expensive. You buy them at the hardware store. We're going to make our own. It's really fun. Okay, so this is a mixture of fish glue and water, about 2/3 fish glue and 1/3 water. What's fish glue? Remember that stuff that was in in kindergarten when you ever used construction paper to glue on top of other construction paper? It was in a little bottle kind of shaped like this, a little kind of salmon colored rubber tip with a little slit in it that always got like this with the glue. Remember the one? Remember the one? Okay, that was full of basically what amounts to fish glue. They called it mucilage, which is nicer than ground up fish bits. And it has a very particular smell, which you'll totally remember. It'll throw you right back to public school. It really doesn't smell good. It smells like fish, really, frankly, dead ones. But anyway, so let's just move on here and get away from the whole fish subject, because personally, it's going to throw me right off my lunch. Okay, so what's going on here on this surface? I put a layer of fish glue on the bare wood. On this lower part, you can see it's got a much richer color. And on this top surface, it's dry now, I put acrylic driveway sealer. Why driveway sealer? Well, it's really strong. If you can drive over it, I figure it's not going to come off the furniture. So that's why I really like this finish. It's really durable. So I've got bare fish glue here. I'm going to put a layer of paint over it, and it should crackle. And then on this one, I'm going to put a layer of fish glue between this clear finish and the paint. If it works, it's going to be faster and better than this way, which takes an extra coat. I'm going to put paint on the bottom layer and fish glue on the top layer. It happens really, really quickly, this whole effect. So here goes the fish glue, just painting it on. And you can be nice and sloppy. All my finishes are sloppy, so I tend to really embrace the sloppy ones. So that's fish glue. See how shiny it is? But on the bottom, it's not shiny, is it? It's matte because it's starting to dry. So let's take a foam brush, and what you do with the paint is you're very careful not to disturb it a whole lot. You just want to put the paint on and keep moving, because if you mix the paint into the fish glue, the crackle effect won't work. And I'm going to hit it with a heat gun while we're waiting for this to dry. It'll make the crackle effect go really fast, if it's going to work. Okay, well, it's not really working, and I think the reason is that I let the fish glue get a little too dry. So let's try it again over here. It's just supposed to be tacky, but see, look, it's a little too dry here, I think. I think it needs to be tackier. Look, it's got little cracks that are starting in it, and it definitely looks distressed. I'm not distressed. Not yet. I could be, but I'm not, because I think this is going to work on this side. So I went ahead and I thinned the paint a bit because it was so lugubriously thick. That's not the right word, but I'm just using it just so you get the idea. This is better paint texture. See, that's just a little thinner. So I think the crackle effect is going to work better. Also, I'm using a heat gun, which is almost too hot. You saw it blistering there a little bit, but you can just use a regular hairdryer to make this work. There it goes. See, look, it's doing micro crackles. You can just let this happen overnight. It'll do it on its own. We now know that if you just cover a piece of bare furniture with fish glue and let it be tacky enough, you can make the crackle effect work. I'm going to try the painting on this side, which is already had a clear coat on it. It just makes a smoother surface finish. Ooh, this one's actually a lot better. See the cracks? Look at them. It's sliding better on the surface that was a little bit smoother, which had the clear coat of driveway sealer on it first. See how fast it goes? Okay, so now you can see how the experiment turned out. The most effective way to do it seems to be to put a clear coat on, then wait for that to dry, layer of fish glue, get it nice and tacky, then stroke the paint on. That gave us a pretty nice, uniform, pretty finish. Down here, if your paint is too thick, all it does is blister. It's too viscous, it's too stretchy, so the cracking doesn't happen as effectively, but once you thin the paint down, you get a really nice effect. I'm liking it. It looks like really old and cool now, instead of just cheesy. So there's your fish glue. That's what it looks like. That's enough to last a really long time when you dilute it, 2 parts of this to 1 part water. And you can get that at Lee Valley Tools. That's where I got mine. It's not very expensive. And any kind of latex paint should work for the crackling.
ToolGirl.